Alright, so I'm using just a regular circular cutting bit and a Dremel. I've got it on really low speed, but I'm going really slowly and I'm just holding it just up against the edge. And I'm doing this all the way around. I already finished this side. And then once I pop them all out, I'm going to come back and I'm going to put on the one of the abrasive wheels and just take off all this sort of melted plastic gunk from the sides. And we'll put the wire on. It's going. Alright, so I got 3 sides cut out. And I messed this up before on a different lid. So it's important that whenever you go to cut out that 4th side, that you have something actually supporting the rest of it. Otherwise, you can get a problem where the rest of it falls through as you go through on the 4th side, and then it just sort of snaps and cracks on the plastic side. So I've got this all like at the same level, and I'm just going to sort of brace it so that it can't snap. And then I'm going to cut out the rest of it, and then I'll go around and smooth everything out. It's all popped out, it's all cut out, so I should be able to just there we go, there's the lid. And I might use this for something, but no, I'm just going to throw this to the side and then get closer. A bunch of little abrasive bits on here, which really shouldn't matter that much, because ideally it's never going to be able to get to them. But I'd hate if these were dropping in there and getting mixed in with this bedding, so I'm going to go ahead and go over all this with an abrasive wheel just to try to get most of them off before I put the lid back on. Alright, so I initially tried using a little abrasive wheel to try to get all this stuff off, but it actually was causing as much of the plastic to melt as it was taking off, so I talked to my dad about it, and he's talking about just trying this. This is actually working pretty decently just to get all the big pieces off. It's just a box cutter, so utility blade. I'm just sliding along the edge just to get the big ones. It's actually a lot faster too. And it's not really about how pretty this looks because the wire's going to lay on top. It's mostly about I don't want these big pieces to eventually fall into the cage, so this is fine for me. Yeah, this is actually working really well. So I'm just going to go all the way around and do this, and take some pictures afterwards, and I'm going to drill the holes and put the wire on. Alright, so it's all cut out. We went ahead and smoothed down the sides so there are none of those big hangy bits anymore. It's still a little bit rough on the bottom, but there's not really much we can do about that, and shouldn't be able to access that if we do it correctly anyways. So now I've just got a regular little drill bit on here that we already tested to make sure that it's the diameter is big enough to fit our zip ties, and it is. And then to test that again, we went ahead and took the middle panel and drilled a little test hole through it, which the zip tie goes through perfectly. Okay, it's a very good fit. So now we're going to go ahead and do these around the edge, just all around. And I plan on doing them on these flat bits and then up on the edges. Perfect. The hole should go straight through. And it's kind of important that you don't, because I did this once with a different cage. It's kind of important that you know how long your zip ties are and where you're going to want it to come through. So here, my hole is only a couple inches away from the end, which is important because it means I'm going to have enough room to come through, go through the wire, and have enough leeway enough to tighten it. So for instance, if I'd left a lot of plastic on, put the hole back here, I might not have been able to make it there. So it's probably the easiest way to do it. Alright, I've got the wire stretched out under here just to help flatten it out some before we put it on. All of our holes are drilled all the way around the sides. I've got the insides pretty much smooth as much as possible. And then we measured out from here to this line. The reason we didn't go all the way to the edge like we're doing on the side is because this is where the handles go, and I don't want my fingers to be near wire whenever I have to like open up the handles. I want to have just solid plastic on the edges. Plus having it sort of lay in this little recess will make it a little bit easier to keep the ends from poking anybody. So we measured that out, and then it comes out to just about here, and I'm cutting it so that sharp bits are on the piece we're not going to use, and our piece has a perfectly smooth side, and I'm doing that just by lining it up with the wire that is going to be our edge. Line it up. And if you want to, it might be good to use gloves while you do this, just because, see, my right hand keeps coming in contact with these little pokey bits. I've gotten poked by those fairly bad before, but if you just go pretty slow, you're probably fine. We got our piece cut out, stretched out. We just pulled it to the edges and sort of cut off the excess with the we'll cut our clippers, and then the excess is too small for us to really do anything else with. But the thing that we cut it from initially, we can probably use for another project, so we're going to save that. And then here, essentially all I need to do is try to get this smoothed out as flat as possible, and then go around and zip tying it. So I've never actually had any problems with any of my mice or rats chewing through the just regular plastic zip ties from the store, but just to be safe, I like to do it this way. I like to put it so that the little knob is facing me when I go through the hole. That way, when I go through and I pull it out, I tighten it, and it winds up like that, so that I can snip it, and the knob is all on the outside. So the only thing they have access to is a nice smooth piece of plastic, which they tend to not chew on. So I'm going to go around the edges and just do that. Do it like that for now, and then I'll go ahead and go around and snip it again.